Speaking of electric vehicles, Mercedes EQS is approaching. It's coming closer. And the image that you're looking at there, Will, is I believe it's a concept image, but it's got a futuristic thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
very cool.
We are on the cusp. Didn't you always want to be on the cusp, Will?
Yes. The fringe.
Fringe cusp. We're on the cusp, I think, of the actual futuristic vehicles coming. I think.
Like in terms of design?
Just the kind of stuff when I was a kid, you know? Yeah. You look at some sci-fi thing or whatever, the kind of thing you expected in 2020, but it didn't feel like it was going to happen, and then it kind of all happened at once. I think, well, coming back to Elon, you can give him some credit for the expedited nature of this particular advancement, because this EQS has got a future vibe, and I think buyers are going to start to demand the future vibe. It's going to be the aspirational aesthetic. Even though people freak out, they look at it, the futuristic vibe or whatever, and just as many people hate it as love it. Mm-hmm. But at least that's something happening. There's a metric, there's some activity, some action. And in some cases, in most cases, at least now, when the web is so noisy and the signal is so hard to find, getting people talking is more important than not having anybody mad, than doing the thing that will not upset anyone. Mm-hmm. Because it's almost like directly correlated with as many people that are going to be really upset are going to be people that really love it and almost love the fact that those people are upset. Like a guy like Kirk, he's going to drive the Cybertruck around and he's going to be almost happy that it bugs you. Because now we're all playing games.
Yeah. He's finding joy in your suffering. What is that?
This is what people do.
Schadenfreude?
Yeah, this is what people... What are you guys doing? We having podcast talk on the show right now, the two of you. Well, can we take it easy over there? Whatever that little fest going on. You're having a music festival over there. You guys are at Coachella right now. Anyway, EQS, it's going to be a large sedan. In terms of scale, it's going to fit between the current E-Class and S-Class Benz. It will kind of target the Tesla Model S in terms of comparative vehicle that currently exists that's also all electric. And they've invested a ton of money, Mercedes. I haven't covered it here on the show yet, but it's in the billions. I believe it's 11. Yeah, Daimler is investing 11.8 billion in the brand's electric fleet and 1.2 billion into battery production. Those are big. That's money, Will. That's $11 billion? 11.8? Yeah. That's money. You can do stuff with that. And that's the thing about the traditional automakers. They got cash. Mm-hmm. They got cash. They make sales. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they're capable of delivering. They've also got a concept in the same line as the EQS, but targeting the Tesla Model Y. And that's a hatchback style, which also has a maybe slightly less futuristic vibe, but it's also looking kind of cool. All electric. So they're going to attack every single area of the segment. Every segment within the segment of automotive. And they're not going to be alone. You're going to see Audi. You're going to see, obviously, we've talked about the Taycan. That's kind of a different market vehicle. But this is where stuff is moving. When you look at the graph down below, top 20 electric vehicles in the world, January to October 2019, you see the Model 3 is just dominating any other vehicle. These other vehicles just haven't been all that compelling. All these other manufacturers took the approach of efficiency first, and their futuristic look didn't have the highest cool factor. It was more strictly utility. And it's obvious that the market wants something else, that the market, based on these numbers, is demanding something else. And now we're seeing a lot more movement into that direction. And here's another player. the Mercedes EQS. One thing I'll say about Mercedes, well, being a luxury brand, one thing they can leverage that Tesla still Tesla's still working on is kind of the little details in automaking. You go inside of say an S class or something, it's little stitching over here and some wood trim or some fancy carbon, or it's the little details.
Yeah.
When you get inside there, the padding of the seats and the stitching on the seat belt,
Yeah. Years and years of feedback.
and the craftsmen, the people in the company that are coming up with these or are experts in those individual fields that take decades to sort of hash out. And so that's one area that Tesla's got to be looking at right now, is with all these traditional automotive companies getting into electric in a big way, investing $12 billion, what do they have that we don't in their century of automotive experience? And so now you have to start, because again, this is what happens with competition. Everything gets better. That's the beauty of it. Everything gets better. And it doesn't even matter how people feel about it, right? This is why I thought it's genius the way Elon treats it on social media when he's saying, congratulating other players in the space, because those players end up being a motivator for him. Mm-hmm. And you don't realize it when you're in the game, or when you're outside the game, I should say. You don't realize it, but you really want competition. Mm-hmm. It pushes people to think differently. Mm-hmm. That's Apple's thing.
Yeah.
But just pushes in general to work harder, to innovate. Ultimately, in a vacuum, I don't know it's harder to figure it out. I play hockey. Well, if you're just playing by yourself, what are you doing? Are you playing at all? I don't know, barely.
You're practicing.
You're practicing. It ain't real.
But that's not like a real competition.
It's not until you have another team to play against that you know where you actually are.
Yes.
Anyway. So this is good. I think this is all good news.